All right, let's talk about leadership. But have you ever thought about it like a great voyage? It's not some title you're just handed, right? It's a journey, something you can actually start on yourself, a course you can chart for you and your crew. So let's dive in. Let's explore that map to becoming a truly great leader.
Okay, first things first. Let's get one thing straight. Leadership, it's not just for the corner office, you know? It's not just for a general on a battlefield. It's actually a huge part of our everyday lives. And a lot of the time, we probably don't even notice it's happening.
I mean, think about it for a second. You see leadership all the time, like when a student totally takes charge of a group project, or when a sports captain gets the team all fired up for the big game. And that last one, well, that brings us right to the main idea we're going to be exploring today. The ship's captain leading their crew. And this is what it's all about. Leadership is basically the skill of guiding your vessel, and that vessel could be your team, your project, heck, even your family, through any kind of water. It doesn't matter if it's calm seas or if a huge storm is raging. Okay, so if we're all potential captains here, what do we actually need for the trip? What are the tools? Well, to get anywhere, every captain needs a map and a compass. For us, our map and compass is getting a really clear definition of what leadership even is. Let's really break this down, because the words here matter a lot. First, leadership is a process. It's not a one-and-done thing. Second, it's about influence, not just being the boss. And finally, it's all pointing toward a common goal. Everyone's got to be sailing to the same destination. You see, a leader isn't some person standing way up high, looking down on everyone. No way. They're usually right there in the middle, inspiring everyone, bringing the whole group together, a circle of people, all looking at the same target, all heading for the same port. So, if you boil it all down, what's the essence of it? It's this. Leadership is the ability to influence and change how people behave, for the better. It's about getting everyone moving in the same direction toward that one shared goal. All right, we've got our map. Now let's talk about actually navigating. See, it's one thing to be a good captain, someone who can read a chart, but it's something else entirely to be a great captain, the kind you can get their crew through the roughest, most dangerous waters. So what's the difference? What separates them? Look, any decent captain, any good leader has to check these boxes. You got to be a role model, set the example for your crew. You have to inspire the team, bring that positive energy. And you've got to push everyone to give their absolute best effort. But that's just the baseline. That's just being good. The real magic, what makes a leader great, that's coming up next. And here it is. This is the big difference. A good leader inspires people to have confidence in him, but a great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. Think about that. They're not just leading, they're unlocking the potential inside every single person, making them better. So why does all this matter? Why is having a great captain so dang important? Well, think about it. You could have the best ship in the world, the most talented crew, but without a good captain, you're just going to be drifting around, lost at sea. The leader is the one who makes sure you actually get where you're going. And the impact of great leadership is huge. It does some pretty incredible things. It takes all that potential your team has and turns it into actual reality. It makes sure the crew understands the bigger picture, the whole voyage plan. It makes it possible to hit those big goals. And maybe most importantly, it raises the ethical bar for everyone involved. Here's a great way to think about it. Leadership is the bridge. It's the bridge between your team's potential and its actual success. It's what gets you from what we could do to what we did. All right, so another really crucial job for any captain is checking the ship's log. You got to evaluate how things are going. You need to know what's working, what's not working, and most importantly, why, so you can make adjustments and keep the ship heading in the right direction. And man, it's a real balancing act. A leader is just constantly juggling a million things, right? Managing tasks, handling resources, steering the ship, but at the same time, they've got to be able to step back from all that and make a fair, honest call about how the crew is performing. And when you look at that log, you start to see patterns. It becomes pretty clear. Weak performance? That usually comes from stuff like indifference, people just not caring, or maybe not keeping up with new ways of doing things. But good performance, well, that's a whole different story. That's built on a solid foundation of hard work, good training, always pushing forward, and a real loyalty and commitment to the mission and to each other. And that really brings us to our final port of call. The big takeaway here is actually super empowering. Leadership isn't some magic power you're born with. It's not.
With the right skills, a good map, and a clear idea of where you're going, any one of us, literally any one of us, can learn to be the captain that leads their crew to success.
So, I'm going to leave you with one final question. We've laid out the map, we've given you the compass. The only thing left to ask is, where are you going to steer your ship?